refreshing world.
那台湾因为伊的所有的地理条件都是，伊这是长形的，长形的伊这山足悬，这河川足底，所以伊的这水的储水能力比较少一点，所以呢，咱一定爱农田水利来改这个平地来改灌溉，所以爱有农田水利来处理啊。
The ritual of setting up an incense altar at the origin of canals and presenting sacrificial offerings to pray for favorable weather has been practiced for hundreds of years. Such a ritual is called head canal ceremony. In order to irrigate crops, our ancestors resorted to their wisdom to excavate waterways and channel water into farmlands. Today, this solemn ceremony is performed for two purposes. One is to remember our predecessors with gratitude for their channeling water to benefit successors for many generations to come. The other is to pray for easy access to water sources and for a year of plenty. One must think of its source when drinking the water. We should be grateful to heaven, the earth, and our forefathers, and pray for favorable weather and a good harvest.
这个水库对咱嘉南平原灌溉影响足济啦。咱一寡迄个农田诶灌溉水稻啦，还是啥物，拢看咱这个乌山头水库咧灌溉安尼啦。
自细汉，阮兜拢做事啦，当然是做事一定爱注意啊。
以前有抢水，怎么抢法呢？就是比较干旱的时候，水量比较少的时候，农民就会去抢水。我们抢水的那个被发现了，就会罚钱的。
Only when there are sufficient water supplies can we have a good harvest. When farmers couldn't get enough water from canals for irrigation, they started to compete for it. During drier seasons, worrying that their crops would shrivel, farmers would block others' farm water inlets in privacy and redirect water to their farms. As incidents like this repeated frequently, farmers had to patrol their farms and guard their water. If the water was supplied during nighttime, farmers would have to stay up all night lest the water was taken away in their sleep. Struggling for water affected farmers' daily routine and even resulted in mistrust and dispute among them. Disputes over water resources have, of course, been reduced as the government continues to improve farmland irrigation systems. With efficient management and justified allocation, most farmers have obtained and used water properly with self-sufficiency.
台湾的农业用水整个历史大概有400年了。 那么在这个台湾光复以前大概有整整350年的时间，他们做了一个非常重要的工作。而这个工作呢，是我们台湾光复以后这40年来或这50年来我们所欠缺的。最重要的一点是，我们早期的先民非常努力的把河川里面的水用引水路带到我们的陆地上，用想尽办法把这个水留在我们的陆地上。
Water accessibility has always been an important issue for people's livelihood. The process for water resource development, which influenced the development of agriculture and changes in humanities, is like a history of Taiwan's development. Subject to Taiwan's unique geographical environment, our forefathers had been sparing no efforts to store and utilize water. Before the arrival of the Hans, Aboriginals had long known the importance of drawing water for irrigation. However, without machines and high-tech tools, it required a considerable amount of labor from developing water source to excavating waterways. With unshakable determination, our forefathers underwent toil and hardship to excavate and reclaim lands. Getting water for irrigation directly from rivers is the most primitive way of water utilization. This technique is time-proven and remains a widely used and important way of water utilization. Our forefathers gained wisdom from experiences and figured out a way to coexist with the challenges of Mother Nature, which is worth learning. In addition to excavating canals to channel water, our forefathers also stored water in naturally formed or man-made ponds. For instance, the small ponds scattering across Taoyuan County not only witnessed the development our ancestors had underwent, but also nurtured a wide variety of ecological resources. In 1624, the Dutch built more advanced water storage facilities in Taiwan, such as Lantan Reservoir, previously known as Red Hare Reservoir, named after the red-haired Dutch, is one of the legacies left behind by the Dutch. Lantan Reservoir, which nowadays serves as a water storage facility for the Jiayi area, draws water from Bajiang River for irrigation. The Dutch-style water storage facility is a dam built with materials such as grass, wood, soil, and stones. It functions well for farmland irrigation and contributes a lot to Taiwan's farmland irrigation engineering.
This 北江溪来讲，这当然是贡献是真大咯。 你也做成农民现在也做成，若无这个也做成，咱政府吼，这个开这也做成吼，这系咱水利会，哦，咱的政府水利会。若无开这水库啦，这北江溪北江溪水来也做成管靠农民用哦。迄气候的时啊，无顺的时啊，水的时啊，无水的时，农民无水，拢无法度人去种植，哦，啊，农业就要收成就无法度啊。所以啊，做成伊咱这个水库的是，咱这水利会的是啊，会当讲缺水的时啊，会当补助咱啊，做成去耕作。 哦，啊无欠水的时啊，伊水排也夹，所以啊做成会使讲这个也做成，这个水利会也是讲也做成，这个无论对一条溪，唔哪干啦，这个北江溪，若讲把这个北江溪吼， 这地貌也好较少，转古的吼，会使讲，若无这水流，无这溪，无这啊，这些水库，农民就开始。所以会使讲，这个啊，这是政府重视，这个是真重点啦。
十几年都将军还佫拢打水在食哩啊，顶寮里啊，黄州里，规个拢打水在食这条。有啊，
有啊，
阮做囡仔就是拢直接洗衫打水啊。
Farmers' life intertwines with water supply and farmland at all times. In the past, people could find clams in rivers or ditches. They could even collect some while doing the laundry by rivers and took them home to make dishes. As an old saying goes, go clamming and doing the laundry concurrently. A great number of Hans immigrated to Taiwan during the Qing dynasty. The surge in population called for the expansion of reclaimed lands and made agriculture even more important to the Hans. In an attempt to make it more convenient for crop irrigation, people across Taiwan started to build irrigation systems. Babao Canal is the first large-scale irrigation facility built by the Han immigrants. Previously named as Shizhou Canal, it was excavated in 1719 under the supervision of Commander Shishabang of the Qing dynasty. The canal drew water from Choshui River to irrigate farmlands. It was renamed as Babao Canal, 8 fortresses, because it supplied irrigation water to 8 out of 13 fortresses, making it one of the most representative canals during the Qing dynasty. An irrigation engineering expert under the designation of Mr. Lin provided know-how to draw water from Choshui River. Later, people built a temple in honor of him to remember this unsung hero.
Changhua 县算是一个农业县哈，是在台湾省这种最主要的农业县哈，它也是有米窗之称啊。它主要的水源是依靠浊水溪，大致上有70%的水源都是靠这个八宝郡的水来引灌的。水利会当然是尽量应这个农民的需求，来这个取水、引水，导水然后分水给农民。
In early days, Choshui River overflowed and caused floods frequently. With irrigation water from Babao Canal and advanced techniques and experience, people turned arid lands of Changhua Plain into fertile farmlands. Babao Canal has contributed a great deal to the agriculture of Changhua County and brought prosperity to the Lugang area, making this place the 3rd largest area in Taiwan during the Qing dynasty. Hence, people refer to Babao Canal as the mother of Changhua. The representative canal in northern Taiwan is Lukong Canal, built in 1740. It was the most important canal for irrigating the Taipei Basin during the Qing dynasty. The canal was excavated by Guo Xiliu and his son to channel water from the Xindian River. The canal irrigated an area of over 1,200 hectares, facilitating the prosperity of the Taipei Basin. The canal runs through Taipei Basin and separates into numerous branches after passing the experimental farms of National Taiwan University. The branches have brought prosperity to Gongguan, Guting, and Da'an areas. With the modernization of Taipei City, many farmlands were turned into houses or land for industrial commercial use. In compliance with urbanization programs, Liaokong Canal has therefore stopped its service for irrigation. In 2001, with the consideration of landscaping, National Taiwan University carried out a restoration plan to restore the section of the canal passing through its campus. The most influential canal in southern Taiwan is Caokong Canal in the Kaohsiung area. Its completion perfected the series of irrigation facilities across Taiwan, making it one of the 3 major canals during the Qing Dynasty, with Babao and Liaokong canals. During the Qing Dynasty, in order to deal with the problems of the lack of waterways, bad harvest, and droughts, Magistrate Cao Jin of Fengshan County started the construction of irrigation facilities in 1823. After Cao Canal was excavated to draw water from Gaoping River, its irrigation area covers almost all of the finest farmlands in the greater Kaohsiung area, benefiting local residents a great deal. The water sources of Shizhitou Canal in Meinong District is from Laonong River. The canal has been supplying irrigation water for nearly a century. Ever since its completion, the canal has benefited an area as vast as 4,000 plus hectares. To the Hakka people in Meinong, Shizhitou Canal is not just a source of irrigation, but also a part of their life, allowing local residents to be self-sufficient and maintain traditional Hakka lifestyle. In addition to the aforementioned canals, Zhuanglong Canal in Miaoli area also has its own distinguishing features. Built by a Hakka resident, Liu Zhen, during the Qing Dynasty in 1840, Zhuanglong Canal channels water from Holong River to irrigate approximately 800 hectares of farmland. The completion of the canal has equipped Holong River Basin with a more comprehensive irrigation facility. To secure irrigation water supplies, Hakka people have overcome many challenges, making Zhuanglong Canal the biggest irrigation facility ever built in Miaoli and nurturing Gongguan Plain.
早期在日本时代呢，在台湾有些非常重要的土地，成为所种的米是日本皇帝的御用米。这些米在什么地方呢？一个在台中的神冈，一个在花莲的吉安，还有一个呢是很少人知道的，就是在苗栗的公馆。那为什么当年台湾有 30万公顷的水稻田，它独独选1公顷在苗栗的公馆。啊，很可惜，日本的技师走了以后呢，也没留下什么资料。那后来我们到当地去探勘了，我们才知道是为什么。因为当地的这1公顷的这个土地呢，完全是当地的涌泉，并且涌泉的水非常非常的干净，终年不竭。涌泉有2股，所以一个泉叫做姐姐泉，一个泉叫做妹妹泉。当地的居民曾经问过我说：“张教授啊，这个泉是不是当地我们灌溉所剩余的泉？这个灌溉所漏出多余的水跑地下水去就涌出来的啊？我们查过这个水质啊，完全不一样，不是当地的水漏下来以后涌出来的，是从远处的山呢慢慢渗过来的，所以非常非常值得看的一个我们的这个涌泉。”
The water in Hutoupi Reservoir in Tainan is supplied by Hutou River. It is named Hutou, the head of a tiger, due to the fact that the mountains here resemble the upright head of a tiger. Surrounded by mountains and rivers, Hutoupi Reservoir is famous for its scenic beauty. Built in 1846 for irrigation during the Qing Dynasty, Hutoupi is the first reservoir in Taiwan. Our forefathers overcame challenges of constructing this reservoir and had it supply irrigation water to over 500 hectares of farmland, making Tainan a prosperous city. The irrigation facilities in eastern Taiwan has been developed according to its geographic features. Subject to steep terrain, the locals found it impossible to build reservoirs for water storage. As an alternative, the Aboriginals directly blocked rivers to get their water supplies. Such a technique has facilitated the agricultural development of eastern Taiwan. Now, thanks to the weather and water resources, eastern Taiwan is famous for its delicious Zhishang rice and Guanshan rice. The secret of growing such delicious rice lies in the top quality water from Zhishang and Guanshan canals, 2 important canals in Taidong County.
咧讲到咱这池上的水源啊，吼，咱在拄在中央山脉的空气吼，咱这池上的水源啊，吼，一起跌咧中央山脉啊，吼，咱的小水滴啊，吼，慢慢的汇集到山下，吼，形成了一条溪，叫做那个卑南溪。啊，卑南溪啊，吼，进入到那个我们的池上的出来桥过后，吼，就进入了卑南溪啊。啊，为什么要这样区分呢？因为上面啊，哈，是之前啊，我们要入山证才可以进去，是一个保护区啦，所以我们这样有一条桥把它区隔啊，哈，啊区隔下来哈，就进入卑南溪。啊，卑南溪进来之后有2个取水口，一个是啊，哈，往南边的水是由关山的郡啊，哈，取水进入关山哦，啊，然后啊往北边的水啊，哈，是由我们的池上进水口啊，哈，进来啊，哈，经过了我们的生态导水路。哦啊，然后啊哈，下方那边啊哈，有一个鱼梯，还有一个沉沙池。那个经过沉沙之后啊哈，我们池上郡就分成了哈，它10个主郡，还有100多个分流，啊分别灌溉啊哈，池上乡1260公顷的农田。
Built in 1878, Zhishang Canal is of the greatest importance to Zhishang area. It channels water from Bainan River to irrigate farmlands. The water source of Guanshan Canal is, on the other hand, supplied by Xinulu River, which has helped to turn arid lands in Guanshan area into fertile farmlands. A considerable amount of Aboriginal manpower was devoted into the construction of both canals, making them representative irrigation facilities in eastern Taiwan.
这个卑南溪哈，在我们台东农林水利会来讲哦，这个我们关山大圳是它第一个的算取水口，它底下还有同样是我们台东农林水利会还有所谓的池上圳、电光圳、丰原圳，甚至底下还有鹿野、还有卑南、还有台东各个圳要用，所以所有卑南溪的水哈，从山上下来之后，因为西部有水库可以储存水源，可是东部就没有，进到我们的关山大圳里面，我们取关山大圳足够的水源，进我们的关山大圳，剩余的水源我们就进由我们的一些排水道，一些排沙道，排到下一个进水口，让我们的下一个我们的取水口的，我们同样是我们灌区的农民能够继续使用。
我来的时都有咱这个日本大船，这个水门，日本时代到今嘛，安尼所以到现在多100年啊，所以咱这个保持水利会已经保持甲足好的，所以有咱这个水利会来照顾这个农民，实在是真大的帮助啦。
讲到台湾农业用水的特征，它完全是就地取材，那么呢就势取水，让水从高的地方往低的地方，然后呢就势取水，按着这个地形来取水，这是一个很重要的一个特点。那因着水呢是自高往低处流，因为这个水呢是本身所用的这些工程的方法都是就地取材，所以呢它就有个特点，它很容易跟当地的地景。很容易跟当地的文化，很容易跟当地的历史，很容易跟当地的人文的特征，甚至很容易跟当地的生物可以结合在一起。
After their arrival in Taiwan, the Japanese, in an attempt to improve the quality of farms and nurture infertile lands, actively planned for the construction of large-scale irrigation and drainage facilities, including Taoyuan Canal and Jianan Canal. Taoyuan Canal uses the existing ponds to adjust water sources. It draws water from rivers for irrigation when there is less demand for water. On the other hand, when there is a desperate demand, it draws water from the pond to make up the shortage of river water. Ever since the completion of Taoyuan Canal in 1928, Taiwan has experienced several severe droughts. However, none of it has affected the irrigation of farmlands around Taoyuan, which showed the importance of the canal to the whole Taoyuan irrigation area.
在桃园的皮塘啊，在最早以前根据调查，差不多有1000个，这是全世界没有最特殊的，就是利用池塘灌溉，因为石门水利会的水啊。有50%是渗到放到池塘，然后池塘干了随时来不过那个水田，所以池塘的面积很大，所以桃园池塘的灌溉，若是按日本人来看， 全世界再找不到的地方。池塘啊，不单是帮助灌溉，对生态，对这个当地温度，池塘旁边的环境整理好，对景观，一切都很好。
Jianan area is a vast and flat plain. Although there are rivers as water sources in this area, in comparison with other areas with water sources from mountains, irrigation in Jianan Plain is still a major problem to farmers here. Jianan Canal was the most famous irrigation facility in Taiwan during the period of Japanese rule. Construction workers spent 7 years digging a tunnel through Wushan Mountain to make access to the leading tunnel of Tsangwan River. Finally, over 1,000 kilometers of irrigation canals were completed. However, numerous heroes lost their lives to the gigantic and difficult projection of Wushantou Reservoir and tunnel. Thanks to the heroes who underwent 10 years of toil and hardship, Jianan Canal, the first irrigation facility in Taiwan, was finally completed for service in 1930. The person in charge of the construction of Jianan Canal and Wushantou Reservoir was Hata Yoichi, a Japanese technician. After graduating from Tokyo Imperial University, Hata was assigned to station in Taiwan until he passed away at the age of 56. He participated in the construction of many important projects aimed to modernize Taiwan under Japanese rule, which included the aforementioned Taoyuan Canal. However, the most important one was the mega construction of Wushantou Reservoir, which was second to none in the world. To express their gratitude to Hata Yoichi, people in Jianan area erected a bronze statue of Hata beside the reservoir. Every year, on Hata's death anniversary on May 8th, the Irrigation Association holds a memorial ceremony in front of his tomb. After the reservoir was completed, 150,000 hectares of farmland irrigated, the agriculture in Jianan Plain increased tremendously. Thus, 600,000 farmers also benefited from production. The rapid growth of the agricultural economy in southern Taiwan, making Jianan Plain the biggest breadbasket in Taiwan. The increase in production and profits from growing rice, sugarcane, and other crops has improved the living standard of farmers. Built in 1932, Bailing Canal is also one of the most amazing hydrological engineering works completed during the period of Japanese rule. It is a large-scale irrigation facility which serves to supply water for both domestic and agricultural use, making it a significant source of water to the Hsinchu area of Taichung. The construction of Bailing Canal was a hard engineering project. Construction workers had to dig through mountains and build bridges across rivers to complete it. It was not like building canals on plains. The building of Bailing Canal marks as an important part of the irrigation history in Taiwan. Subject to the unique geographical environment in Taiwan, our forefathers exercised their wisdom and applied modern techniques such as building flumes, tunnels, siphons, or inverted siphons to channel water, allowing water to travel across mountains for more efficient use for irrigation. Irrigation facilities in Taiwan suffered different extents of damages during World War II. In order to restore crop production, the government actively repaired these facilities and built representative reservoirs as well, such as Sherman Reservoir and Songwen Reservoir. The water of the Sherman Reservoir is supplied by Dahan Stream. Built in 1956, Sherman Reservoir is the first multi-purpose reservoir which serves to supply irrigation water, generate power, control floods, and boost tourism. Built in 1967 and located at the upstream of Songwen River, Songwen Reservoir is the biggest reservoir in Taiwan. In addition to the main purpose of supplying irrigation water to the vast Jianan area, like Sherman Reservoir, it comes with multiple functions in terms of the utilization of water resources. Nowadays, the use of water is no longer limited to farmland irrigation. Instead, water can also be used to generate power through the drop height between reservoirs and water outlets. In short, using water potential and energy can generate power, then turn it into electricity through power generators. In addition to just irrigating farmland, there is a dual use of water resources, which can provide energy without polluting the environment. Huludun Canal supplies irrigation water through Shikang Reservoir to about 8,000 plus hectares of farmland, which obtains water from Dajia River. On September 21, 1999, the magnitude 7.3 earthquake devastated Shikang Reservoir and affected the water supply capability of Huludun Canal. In response, the Irrigation Association and relevant agencies repaired Babao Canal urgently to have it play the role of channeling water and replace the functions of Shikang Reservoir, restore the irrigation capability of Huludun Canal to the Taichung area, stabilize the water supplies for agricultural use, and resume the crops production in central Taiwan. In the 21st century, the world is in a plight where there will be a lack of food and an increasing number of floods and droughts caused by climate change. It will be a severe challenge to the future of agriculture. Farmland irrigation engineering is the foundation for the development of agriculture. It facilitates the agriculture in Taiwan and serves as a cornerstone for a safe and healthy agriculture. Safe agriculture is the basis of sustainable agriculture. Providing quality water for irrigation is the key to the development of Taiwan's farmland irrigation engineering. To reduce the risk of polluting irrigation water, we will promote the separation of irrigation and drainage, reinforce the monitoring and early warning systems for irrigation water quality, and enhance sewage management and consultation measures. Ensuring the safety of agricultural products is an important mission commissioned to irrigation associations. Looking into the future, irrigation associations must ponder over how to utilize the existing water resources, land, and manpower to diversify its operation. In addition to developing energy-efficient and ecological engineering projects and continuing to provide sufficient irrigation water, we should also adequately adjust the use of water resources as a response to the shortage of water supplies for domestic and industrial use in Taiwan. It means that we need to simultaneously tap new sources and reduce use of water when irrigating. In terms of tapping water sources, we will continue to renovate and improve irrigation facilities, build more ponds to store water, recycle remnant water from agriculture irrigation, and find more usable water resources. For the reduction of water use, we will improve irrigation associations' ability of water management, establish automatic water management systems, and promote the use of water-saving systems to improve irrigation efficiency. Irrigation associations will continue to make better planning for the agricultural irrigation of Taiwan, renovate waterways, and ensure the most adequate utilization of water resources. Waterway renovation will not only secure sufficient water supplies for irrigation, but also facilitate ecological balance. By doing so, we can ensure sufficient water sources for both ourselves and nature, and minimize the impact of engineering projects on the environment. We need to pay equal attention to production, life, and ecosystems, as well as the maintenance and studies of irrigation facilities. Keeping ecosystems in balance is the sincerest respect we can extend to Mother Nature. Agriculture and farmland irrigation engineering are two sides of one coin. We have to coexist with the environment in harmony. Flowing water and flourishing paddies brighten the future of farmland irrigation engineering. All immigrants to and natives in Taiwan have fought hard for the development of agriculture and irrigation engineering in Taiwan. They have worked hard collectively on the same land, sharing the fruitful outcomes together and promoting ethnic integration coincidentally. We have to remember their contributions and treasure their efforts. We have to keep contributing our share of efforts and head toward a better future together.